What is the persona? What I love about Jungian psychology is that he developed a system that helps us basically move beyond our early life conditioning and step into who we really are, our true self. So instead of spending a lot of time trying to fix the past, he gives us a journey, a roadmap to help us move toward the future. The first part of this journey is really to identify our persona, this mask that we wear, that we've learned to adapt to society with. Early in life, we look at our family, our parents, our siblings, the culture around us, and we develop a personality, a persona to present to the world to keep us safe, to help us align socially for survival. And many times that persona is really opposite of who we really are on the deep level, but we do it because we need to fit in. And so the second half of life, after we've basically built up our ego and created success, maybe built some relationships, we start to feel this sense of stuckness, this sense of there has to be something more in me. There's more to me, and that we feel this soul calling within us. And one of the things that we have to resolve in order to connect with our soul, who we really are, is by coming to terms with the shadow that this persona has developed. Now, the shadow is the opposite of our persona, so it's unconscious. So, for example, if we decided that we wanted to be a nice person, someone very organized, who is always there for people, who shows up on time, all the normal things that we would need to function in society and in relationships and be dependable. The shadow of that would be someone who's chaotic, who is unreliable, and basically lets people down, a disappointment. Now, all of us, to some extent, have a similar shadow culturally because we all live in the same human world, the same rules. And so if you just examine this one example, think about your life and think about how much of your life, how much of your choices, how much of your stress has been about not letting other people down. And now you're starting to see this persona that you put up to please the world, to get approval and acknowledgement from the world, what the world expects of you. And the shadow, which is that almost this secret desire to just be unreliable, to just quit your job, to do something crazy, to go on a journey, to, that tendency we have inside of us to just go wild, but we don't, because our ego is sort of letting us stay in this social structure aligned with everyone else. So individuation is really about you stepping out of those old social structures, not going completely chaotic, but actually looking at the choices you're making in life, and if they're really your choice or just the choice of society. And this feeling of stuckness that we feel is that we're not really having any free will in our life. So the first step in the individuation process is to identify your persona, this personality, this expectation that you think the world has of you, and start to examine what the opposite is, what you're not allowing into your life, and that's the shadow. Jung says, the world will ask you who you are, and if you don't know, the world will tell you. That sums up this concept of the persona-shadow dynamic and the first step to really freeing your mind to create the life you really want.